The Bear is at the top table of current television. In fact, forget that, it's one of the best TV shows ever made, and Season 3 continues the excellent work of the last two seasons. It's stressful, joyful, challenging, and revelatory, in ways that a show about a restaurant selling beef sandwiches shouldn't dare to be. Chefs, including the Bear's cast, often talk about the privilege of being an essential part of so many important moments in people's lives, their food the centerpiece of memories. It's hard not to get romantic about the Bear itself in those terms. The Bear Season 3 feels like a confident evolution of an already excellent show. It is complex, chaotic, and uplifting in equal measure. It isn't entirely consistent, which is why it's not the perfect score Carmy would kill or die for. But the rough edges do add to the flavor. The conclusion of the Bear Season 3 lays the stage for many more difficult obstacles for Sydney, Carmy, and all the other employees of the restaurant of the same name. The tale of the Bear Season 3 culminates in a cathartic moment after navigating Carmy's mental troubles, Sydney's work-related issues, Tina's past, Richie's difficulties accepting his wife's second marriage, and Sugar's attempts to mend her connection with her mother. Carmy, Sydney, Richie, and a number of well-known chefs convene at Chef Terry's Ever restaurant to celebrate the establishment's legacy before to its closing at the start of the episode. Reunited with the individuals who helped him realize his true purpose, Richie finds that the gathering becomes a reminder of some of his most transforming days. When Sydney first meets Adam, he encourages her to accept his business proposal. When Carmy runs into Adam, his former boss, at the event, all of his old demons come roaring back, reminding him of all the hardships he had to go through to become the man he is now. Carmy also at last gets the Chicago Tribune review in the finale of the Bear Season 3, which could make or break the future of his business. The review's combination of positive and negative terms indicates that the magazine had mixed feelings about the Bear. Although the outcome of the review is yet unknown, Jimmy's response and the fact that he has missed multiple calls from Uncle Jimmy are worrisome. As the review's keywords imply, the food critic was probably impressed by some of the Bear's meals, but not so much by others. If this is accurate, the Bear's future may be uncertain, and Jimmy will have to determine whether the endeavor is worthwhile. In the last arc of the Bear Season 3, Sydney first revels in Ever's retirement celebration. She breaks down, though, when she realizes she has to choose between staying in the Bear and helping Ever's former CDC Adam with his new restaurant venture. Sydney fights with herself the entire third season of the Bear to persuade her to stay and carry on working with Sydney. She is delaying signing the agreement that would make her the Bear's joint partner for a number of reasons, chief among them being this. She seemed to be almost positive that she should leave the Bear and pursue a different path for her culinary career after accepting Adam's offer. She finds it difficult to discuss her desire to leave with Carmy, though. Side tells Adam that she is interested in the prospect even at their last meeting at Ever's retirement celebration. This implies that although she wants to leave the Bear, she is too bonded to the patrons to do so. Because of this, it is clear that she is uncertain about what to do next and does not panic in the last scene. She is already aware that leaving the Bear is necessary in order for her to advance in her culinary career and receive greater credit for her contributions. Because she lacks the willpower to say goodbye to the individuals she has become so devoted to, Side becomes terrified. In the event that the Bear received a bad review from the Chicago Tribune, Sydney would have yet another compelling reason to leave. But if the review gave her dishes high marks, her departure plans might become more problematic. In the third season of the sitcom, when the Bear restaurant is having trouble breaking even, Uncle Jimmy enlists the services of his financial advisor to assist Carmy and Sydney in reducing operating expenses. Unfortunately, Jimmy finally finds he cannot continue to fund his family's business, despite his best attempts to keep it viable. He so goes to see Carmy and informs him that if they do not receive a positive review from the Chicago Tribune, he would have to end their relationship. Shortly after, upon reaching his car, his financial advisor informs him that he is no longer able to support them due to a number of deductions from his total net worth. Jimmy's deteriorating financial condition could cause problems for the Bear, even though the review's conclusion may ultimately decide whether or not he will keep investing in the restaurant. Uncle Jimmy will not be able to finance the Bear for very long, even if the publication gives it a positive review. He is running out of money and is not as wealthy as he once was. It's concerning that Carmy doesn't appear pleased with the assessment, as this suggests that it's unfavorable and Jimmy might not have any more motivation to invest in the restaurant in Season 4. Carmy walks outside for some fresh air after a tense meeting with his former boss, David. After they stroll down memory lane, Chef Terry joins him. Carmy then poses an intriguing question to her. What would you tell yourself when you were where I am? Terry assures him that he is invincible since he doesn't know what he is doing after giving it some thought. Her advice emphasizes that Carmy's inexperience with owning and operating a restaurant is a benefit because it hasn't yet exposed him to the typical constraints and variables in the industry. They need to exercise caution since, despite their ignorance convincing them to jump, there might not be a safety net available in case they fall. Olivia Colman's chef Terry has experienced her fair share of low points in operating her business since Ever's demise was announced. Ever realizes that the high-end restaurant industry is typically unsustainable upon its closure, particularly in light of their demanding work environments and the post-pandemic economic downturn. She therefore advises Carmy to prepare for the unknowns ahead while supporting him in continuing to do what he is doing. Carmy may lose Sydney, but as long as he thinks that his success in the kitchen will come at the expense of his relationships, he will be stuck in a vicious circle of self-imposed solitude. The latter keeps him from contacting Claire and pleading for her pardon. Given that he refuses to apologize despite the fact's encouragement, it appears unlikely that he will do so anytime soon. Carmy may lose Sydney, but as long as he thinks that his success in the kitchen will come at the expense of his relationships, he will be stuck in a vicious circle of self-imposed solitude. Carmy runs across David, his former boss, at Ever's retirement celebration. Carmy experienced severe emotional and psychological pain as a result of David's constant mistreatment and insults toward him in the kitchen, as revealed by his flashbacks. Carmy is enraged by his sight and confronts him, reminding him of how he treated him. But rather than feel bad about what he did, David tells him with pride that Carmy would never have been a wonderful chef if it weren't for him. Carmy comes to the realization that he is slowly becoming into a carbon copy of David as a result of his poisonous mentoring, which fueled his blinding quest for perfection. Even though The Bear Season 3 ends shortly after this interaction, it seems likely that Carmy will be forced to reform himself when he realizes how much he is becoming to resemble the chef he despises. It will serve as a reminder for him to center himself and to stop treating his coworkers so harshly since he might end up marking them the same way David marked him. But it may be too late for Carmy to make amends, since Sid is already on the point of quitting The Bear. Compared to Season 2, the drama of The Bear Season 3 is comparatively less severe. But the last scenes imply that The Bear Season 4 will raise the stakes considerably. Considering that Uncle Jimmy might resign and Sydney might leave The Bear, Season 4 of The Bear will explore some of the most difficult situations Carmy has encountered thus far. Sid will be faced with the challenge of choosing between acting on her feelings and thinking more critically about her future. These crucial story aspects in Season 4 of The Bear will center on the unclear restaurant review. If Uncle Jimmy closes The Bear too soon, Richie won't have many options for a profession after Ever's shutdown. Professionally speaking, Tina will suffer the most in The Bear Season 3 should Sydney choose to depart or the central restaurant close.